now a very good evening. Is it evening or rather afternoon for those of you who are watching us from the diaspora? This is Monday Night Sports. So with me, Oronje Kusimba. It's a lovely Monday, and of course, sporting action has been in and around the globe. Kenya, Rwanda, Madagascar, anywhere you want to name it. Of course, I'm talking about Madagascar simply because of the Barthes Cup that was happening here in Nairobi at the Nyayo National Stadium. I'll be keeping you up to terms with that and more in regards to sports. But of course, before we kick it off, remember you can get us through our social media platforms at Switch TV KE, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Remember, you can like, subscribe, and share this lovely content because it is simply the best for you, but no one else. And of course, as the show goes by, you can go back there, YouTube, and also like or rather just send in your comments in regards to this specific show, because tonight I'm going to be sampling them in and out as we take it through these 30 minutes of sporting action, because they start now. Now I'm going to start you off with the action from the Barthes Cup, which was happening at the Nyayo National Stadium. And of course, Kenya was up for the third and fourth playoffs, and it was up against Madagascar because Kenya went on in that particular encounter, beating in Madagascar 45-19 in that third and fourth playoffs, and it was an incredible game. And I'll be showing you some pictures before I get you over to some action-packed evening. That was yesterday at the Nyayo National Stadium, because I couldn't go on without mentioning this incredible duo of Emmanuel Opondo and Randy Odhiambo. Emmanuel Opondo starting in at number 9, and of course Randy Odhiambo a prop, all from the Falcons, Daystar Falcons team. Proud of these boys because they put in a big shift yesterday in the Kenya versus Madagascar game. And of course, they will be playing next weekend in the nationwide finals against Zimbabwean University. Now, that's a big match to watch at the Kenya RFUA grounds at 3 p.m. It's going to be a lovely, lovely match. So you be there so that I may just capture you for the fun experience next Monday. So it's Daystar Falcons up against Zitek. It's going to be a tight finals for the nationwide finals. And it's big because both teams are currently in the championship. Now, still on the Barthes Cup 2022, because remember the Barthes Cup, that was 2019, which Kenya also won the Barthes Cup, and it was not played the following year due to COVID-19. And remember, on in 2020, Namibia pulled out simply because of COVID-19, and it came in big and stronger this year, and it actually knocked out Kenya because that match was played on Wednesday, and Namibia turned out to be the better side, knocking off Kenya, and actually took Kenya to play the third and fourth. Now, most of the guys went in yesterday just to see the Kenyan match, but for those of us who stayed, we actually had a very good evening because Namibia put out a show against Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe, this was a match that to some extent it was nail-biting and it was a fire. Those two teams really have a future in their country in regards to rugby, because if these guys are under 20 and they brought out that particular show that we saw yesterday, it was incredible. Now, just to get a sneak peek of what went down, because this game ended up at a scoreline of 14-19 in favor of Zimbabwe. Just take a look at what went down.
boys came out and they played. We knew it was going to be a tough encounter. They've worked hard for this. We've got a young team, and yeah, excitement is there all around.
That was a good one indeed from both teams. Zimbabwe Sabbles Rugby, good one. And of course, Kaka Balanda, my good friend from Uganda, was also in that particular encounter. Was there with the likes of Chichi, the better photographer, you know him. And of course, Dennis Ekahaf Ekanusu himself and Mid Ego were part of this lovely encounter. Tulikuwa nao pale fans, so I must give them a mention tonight. Now, moving on swiftly, still on matters rugby, Kenya Sevens was playing in Vancouver, the Shujaa team, and to some extent, I must say they put up a good show, because I did not expect Kenya to deal with to actually win in that particular pool. But Kenya was lucky to win over USA. Remember, we were pooled against USA, Fiji, and England. Now, Kenya emerged in their first encounter to beat USA at a scoreline of, that was 19-17 in favor of Kenya. Then the second game was 38-7 in favor of Fiji. Then the third game was 12-19 in favor of England. Then we were automatically relegated, not relegated, but just taken to the Challenge Trophy quarterfinals, where we were knocked out by Ireland. Also another nail-biting encounter. But I must say, my man of the tournament for this particular encounter was Yoko, Kevin Wekesa. This guy, for most of the bloggers, or rather even writers, they tend to call him the next Andrew Amonde. But I think this young tech has a big future in the Kenya Sevens. Remember, he scored in a brace against USA, and he was incredible. Just look at him in this particular tournament. You might be as well in a better position to say that Kenya has a bright future in regards to rugby. Now, I think that is all from the rugby zone. But before we wrap it up, matters rugby, let me just take you all over to the, what do we call it, the fun experience. The moment you all have been waiting for. That is the fun experience. Now, this one was derived from yesterday, because yesterday at the Nyayo National Stadium, Barthes Cup 2022, we saw Zimbabwe clinching in the main title. That is the Barthes Cup itself. And one thing I must say for a fact is that the fans were something to watch, because these were fans that were gathered up, the Zimbabwean fans that were from the embassy, and also the Zimbabwean citizens who are in Kenya were also part of that lovely encounter. And those guys have a vibe. Watu wako na vibe kweli, because in that stadium we were seeing them on the other side. You know, Nyayo National Stadium, there is the Russia side, and of course there is this other side of the VIP, which yesterday most of the people got a chance to be at the VIP simply because of the rain. So it's also another ball that we are tossing on the court of the government. Make our stadiums, because when it's raining, people cannot watch matches. Now we are giving you that mantle. Specific government stakeholders, those people responsible of these stadiums, I think you really need to do a very good job over there. Now, yesterday, the Zimbabwe fans were very impressive. Now, just have a look at what they were doing at the stands. Now, that is lovely piece of action from the Zimbabwean fans, and also the Barthes Cup. Remember, those are under 20 players, so you can just even tell how it will be when they reach the likes of 30. These are people who have another even close to like 15 to 20 years still playing rugby. Incredible. Now switching our gears all the way to matters golf, because the Johnnie Walker Golf Series kicked off yesterday, and of course in Kiambu there were lots of things to watch there, and Kaburu and team won the Kiambu leg of the Johnnie Walker Series. That was incredible. And the quartet of Peter Kaburu, Henry Ruhohi, Peter Njuguna, and Lucy Gichimbere jointly scored a remarkable 119 points to clinch the 15th leg of the Johnny Walker series, which was played at the Kiambu Golf Club. That was on Saturday. And also they claimed second. The ones who claimed second position was the team of Michael Karuga, George Kuria, Michael Karanja, and Alex Mukui, who hit a combined score of 110 points. 3 more, and the team of comprising of Michael Karanga, Michael Nyagi, Caesar Mugo, and Ken Mwaura also managed to take a total of 7 points to claim the 3rd position. Now let's just get to listen in to what they had to say in regards to that specific leg that was played on Saturday.
My name is Peter Juguna. I came to Kiambu Golf Club to participate in this John Walker tournament or series on the road to Grand Eagles. The weather is very good this morning. The course has been very good. We are looking forward to a good performance.
Now, I wouldn't leave tonight's show without mentioning this, because Ferdinand Omanyala beat Akane Simbine in the ASA Athletic South African Grand Prix that happened last week. And guess what? This year, that was the faster clocking sub 10, because he actually ran 9.98 in this particular one. And one thing that caught everyone by surprise, remember, as he was starting in with the 60-meter dash this year, he mentioned that he's trying to work on his takeoff. And just get to see this video, how he took off. And most of the guys actually thought that it was going to be a competition between Akane Simbine and Ferdinand Omanyala. But Ferdinand Omanyala outclassed him. Brilliant one from the young tack over there, because he's just 26 years old, a brighter future. You know, when you're in your 20s and it's sports, you're actually a young tack, because when it comes to sports and you reach the 3rd floor, it becomes difficult. Let's just get to see how Ferdinand Omanyala clocked this particular win, garnering E9.98. Brilliant showpiece from Ferdinand Omanyala, and I think it's now time to bring him on set, because we mentioned that he was supposed to come in, but he's been traveling in and out. Now it's a promise to you loyal viewers that we are going to bring in Ferdinand Omanyala, Monday Night Sports, and he will tell us what he's using and actually what he tends to maybe clock in or maybe even beat other records when it comes to the 100 meters. Now we'll be taking a short commercial break, but of course let me leave you with this amazing and incredible video, which was actually from the HSBC circuit team of the Kenya Sevens players, because this is, I must say, this is, what is his name? Shikoli is there, Alvin Marube is there, Levi Amunga is there, Zaden Maro is there, and we're also seeing the likes of Richel Wangila in that particular video, and we're also seeing Herman Humwa, who happens to be the vice captain of the Kenya Sevens team at the Vancouver. Remember, this is them doing what they love doing best. That is the dancing that the Kenya Sevens team do. Now, this was Trio Mio's song being played in Vancouver. Now we are back on course, Monday Night Sports with me, Oronjo Kusimba. It has been an incredible night in regards to sports. We've talked about the Kenya Sevens bagging in there. I must say it's a win for them, because they were in a tough pool. No one expected them to come out even with a win, but they were lucky enough, or rather they just let me not say lucky, because in sports there is no luck. They just earned that particular victory. But of course, we are kicking it on Monday Night Sports. Remember, you can get us through our social media platforms at Switch TV KE across all social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, and of course Facebook. Not forgetting YouTube. Like, comment, and share this lovely and incredible content just because it's here for you. And now this one is a big one because Betking, which is the leading sports betting company, and also in terms of digital, they actually did good this time round in Kawangware because they actually benefited 5,000 youth because they handed in a well-renovated community center. That is a community center that will benefit over 5,000 Kawangware youths. And that is the Dagoretti Youth Welfare Organization, which is run by the community, was founded in 1996 as the first welfare youth in Dagoretti. And now this one, they did a good job. And this is the likes of Jackie was part of their Jackie to Nui. I remember we hosted her back then in a Monday night. That was a sports finale. And they're doing a very incredible job over there in Kawangware. And this community center will actually benefit the youth in that particular area. Those are just but the pictures of what was going down in Kawangware, courtesy of Betting. Now, still on matters football, but in Tanzania, because we've talked about Muguna, who actually plays for Azam FC. Let me just take you, but we are still in Tanzania, so don't go anywhere. We are still in Tanzania. Let me take you to the CAF Confederation, which I must say this is the African Champions League. And Simba was playing against the South African side Orlando Pirates yesterday. And Kapombe actually bagged the winner for Simba in this particular encounter in the 68th minute, courtesy of a penalty. And I must say that this match was incredible because looking at the stats, you can see Simba possessed in this particular encounter, leading to an 80% possession. Now, it was a brilliant game for them because Tanzanians are one kind of is a nation that actually supports their teams and supports their football, which leads me to this particular video that was taken during the match that happened at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Tanzania. Just see how the stadium was packed and full. This is what we love to see when we talk about African football. I don't want to compare with the leagues because you know what we are currently serving here in Kenya matters the ban. But just get to see how this stadium was packed yesterday during this particular encounter, Simba versus Orlando Pirates. Just to keep you in touch because we are still on matters football. This one was a local encounter that happened hapa tu nyumbani. That was yesterday in the FKF Kenya Premier League. And this is what happened. This was KCB versus Kariobangi Sharks. And this match ended at a 2-0 scoreline in favor of Kariobangi Sharks. Remember that that particular encounter now leaves the Kariobangi Sharks, the Sharkmen, wanasema the Slum Boys, who are now at position 5 on the log with 41 points. And now KCB are dragging to position 8. Now, and one thing about KCB is last season, when the season was coming to an end, we saw a strong KCB. KCB was resilient, KCB was persistent, and KCB kept on knocking doors. I tend to say they were actually discouraged by Tusker because Tusker just took the Premier League title from them in the dying moments of the league. Now, that was devastating for them, but I think they are on the course to coming back to this particular encounter, but the league has already gone. I think the league has gone with Kakamega Homeboys. I was just bantering with a few friends, and they told me that one thing we should take to the bank this particular year is that we saw the Kenya Cup going to Kakamega with Kabras. This time round, it will now be the Kenyan Premier League going to Kakamega with Homeboys. Now, that is something we should be watching out and look and see whether it will come to happen. Their respective stakeholders were in Kakamega, In the county government, including Alan Wanga, who was also their striker in Kakamega Homeboys. We've seen him even play for the Harambee Stars. Now I'm sure they will do a big deal when it comes to now sports in that particular county, because seeing both football and rugby coming back to the county, that surely is a big thing. I don't want to say that I'm from that county, but we are proud, Kakamega County, taking it matters forward in terms and in regards to sports. Now let's just see the highlights of what went down in this particular encounter. KCB versus Kariobangi Sharks. It was a home game for KCB, but they were nailed by Kariobangi Sharks 2 goals to nil. Let's just get to see what happened in that particular encounter. Now, still on matters football, away from local football, wacha niwatoe Kariobangi, then I take you all the way to England, where it was enticing and it was rough, it was rowdy for one-man fun. Arsenal fans, I'm talking about you, because the weekend wasn't for you, and also the week was also not for you, because Arsenal was actually beaten by Southampton. And one thing about Arsenal, leave alone the Soton match, it's just I want to bring to your attention this particular picture. And this is a meme that has been going around on social media. It's a meme, yes, correct. That is the meme itself. And as you can see, you are seeing the former Prime Minister Raila Amole Odinga together with his son and his daughter. They were in England watching that particular match at the Emirates Stadium. And ever since this day, things have never gone right for Arsenal. Now, I don't know what is the problem. Is Baba the problem? He's supposed to be Baba. He's supposed to be your father. But Arsenal has been going through a rough time ever since these delegates who come from Kenya went to see their particular encounter. Remember, Junet was also there. We also saw Joho there. And let me just drag in this individual, Captain Ronald, who also is an aspirant for the embassy seat. He was also part of that journey, but he wasn't with them. I think they actually met in that particular encounter. So ever since these guys, these culprits, were in England watching Arsenal's match, which Arsenal started by being clobbered by Liverpool. Of course, that was meant to happen. Did you guys expect Arsenal to beat Liverpool? That one was supposed to happen to them. Things have never been right for this club. Now, I think the Prime Minister should go back to England and go and watch Arsenal's match, so that he can now do away with that curse, as per they say. You know, there was also a saying that when Baba goes to watch a Gor Mahia match, Gor Mahia ni lazima itoe ndani. But that is a story for another day. It's just about the banter that goes around in football, and of course, nothing serious. It's just something that came to happen, and we saw it, and it's something that we are just saying, but on a light note. And Manchester United was also playing this weekend, and guess what? Because people have been talking, people have been ranting, people have been saying all sorts of things about Manchester United. But who is Cristiano Ronaldo, number 7 himself? Number 7 Mgongoni. Cristiano Ronaldo came in and bagged a hat-trick against Norwich. This match ended at 3-2 in favor of Manchester United. And just let us not overlook this fact that this is Harry Maguire. The other time we saw him jumping and they were defending, and Harry Maguire just knocked Cristiano Ronaldo when he was jumping. Now in this game, Harry Maguire went up and he left his boot hanging. And remember, it got who? It actually got Pogba. Now this is the meme. If you think you're having troubles, look at Harry Maguire. Let's just speak about Harry Maguire. Every time Manchester United plays, Harry Maguire must make a statement. I don't know what is going on with him. Now this time round, he injured Pogba. because he just jumped and he was loose on hapo kwa hewa, and his boot ended up now damaging Pogba, as you can see on your screens. Now you get a chance to tell us what is wrong with Harry Maguire. Is he the problem, or is Manchester United the problem, or the teammates the problem? You know, it reaches a point in time where you say, you people are the problem, I'm not the problem, you are the challenge. Now I think it's that situation for Harry Maguire. Now that was matters football, and of course England. I wouldn't leave it without mentioning, because the great fans of Chelsea. Last week we mentioned something about Chelsea, that this is the only club that has raised among its ranks to become the most hated club, especially here in Kenya. Kenyans don't love Chelsea because of Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans are full of noises, yani drama, all sorts of things. Ever since these people walitoka na Champions League, it hasn't been easy. The streets have not been safe. And remember, they don't even... We are also looking at the club, because we are wondering what is wrong with them. They are having wrangles that I think to some extent, just looking at it at a pandit point of level, I don't think that the wrangles in Chelsea have affected players in some way, because players are actually doing what they came to do best. We actually thought that they would flank and they would go down, they would lower their graph when it came to playing, because of the wrangles that were in the top management of the club. But they turned out to be successful. We also saw Double T, Thomas Tuchel himself, really show us the tactical discipline that he has, and also the skill, and also he showed us how he was supposed to be a manager by going down there to Real Madrid and telling them, you know what, you went away with the first leg, but I'm going to give you a run for your money. Now, away from that, this was them in the FA Carling Cup. They won, and it's going to be a final, Chelsea versus Liverpool. Remember, Chelsea have tried it 3 seasons, and wamekuwa wakipigwa. Now I don't know what is going to be right this particular season. Is the FA Carling Cup going to go home with Chelsea the Blues? Is it going to redeem them this season? Because I think that's the only thing that they have at stake this season. I don't see them going away with the league. Remember, last week Ndeku mentioned to us clear that his top 4, he thinks his top 4, he's going to go up with Liverpool. Then number 2, he's going to go up with Manchester City. Then number 3, Chelsea. That one, he parked your money on you. And we said number 4, Arsenal. But I think it will need prayers for some time. But I don't think that is going to be the lineup. I think it's going to be a different thing over there. But that is going to be the FA Carling Cup. Chelsea versus Liverpool. I don't know which side you are in, but of course remember, we can keep the banter alive only here on Monday Night Sports. Remember our social media platforms at Switch TV KE across all social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, and of course Facebook, YouTube. You can also like, share, comment this amazing content just because of you. And today's show has been incredible from the start. But you know, they say, just like athletics, you reach that point where you hear the bell and it's the final lap. Now for us, we're just seeing the cross line, and we're supposed to cross, because it has been an incredible 30 minutes of nothing but the best sporting action, local and international. Barthes Cup, Vancouver. We also went into the Kenyan Premier League. Now we've seen South Africa, Omanyala beating in Simbine, which was the big highlight of last week, because Simbine is actually a runner and he's faster. And Omanyala mentioned that he's not going in that race simply because of Simbine, but he's going to beat the wind. That is what he said. And he actually proved to us that he can run and continue running as up to 9.98. Now, Monday Night Sports with me, Oronje Kusimba, has come to an end. But remember, you can be part and parcel of this amazing show. My personal social media handles, Oronje Kusimba _ across all social media platforms. We can keep the sporting conversation going on. And next week, we'll be here, same place, same time, and talk about matters sports. But for tonight, Oronje Kusimba signing out.